Hey everyone, how you doing? Ron here with How Do I? Alright, so let's get into the video. We're going to go over how do I use Google Sheets or how to use Google Sheets for beginners. Let's get into the video. We're going to come over here and go to google.ca. I'm in Canada, so I go to google.ca. If you're in the US, you can probably go to google.com. And as you can see at the top right, I'm already signed in here. So if you see to the left of my name, I'm going to click on here, this little icon, and this is going to show you the list of Google apps that are available. I'm going to click on here, and as you can see right here, it says Sheets. So let's go into Sheets. Click on there, and as you can see, I have a list of previous sheets that I used. You know, it shows the date, the last open, who was opened by, etc., etc. Now, on the top here, you could actually see templates that you can use. Now, these are very handy because in the past, I actually paid for an invoice template on Microsoft Excel. But now that you have Google Sheets, it is completely free. So you could come over here to Template Gallery. Now you can see actually sheets that you wanted to use if you wanted to use for free. Here you could do an add-on, but there's a bunch of sheets that you can use which are completely free. Now, people are asking, well, where do you save this? This is all saved in the Google Cloud. So if you have Google Cloud, even the free version, it's going to save it there as long as you have space in your Google Drive. So now we're going to go and we're going to create our first sheet. We're going to come over here to the blank symbol here. And the first thing you want to do is you want to name your sheet. Okay, we're going to just call this by our channel name, How Do I? And the very first thing that I'm going to teach you is here, or the second thing actually, is cells and rows. So as I click on each row or each cell, you can see at the top left, it's referencing where I'm at. So I'm at E7, E8, E9, etc. So now let's say you wanted to, let's say you had a bunch of data here and you wanted to hide something. This is very easy. You want to come over here, left click it on your Mac, and what we're going to do is we're going to right click it and we're going to go hide column. Or you could clear column. Now as you can see, it says A, B, C, and it's missing the D. All you have to do to show this back is you could come over here where the arrow is and just double click on this or drag it to the right. And you can see that it comes back. So now we're going to talk about just formatting, right? Because the first thing you want to do, usually when you're working with Google Sheets, is you're going to have some rows and columns, and you're going to want to name them. So I'm just going to name this How Do I? And to get to the next column on how I did that, I just did a tab. So you do a tab and it moves over. How do I? Perfect. Now once you have that, a lot of the first things you want to do is you want to do a bold, an italic, and maybe an underline. So using the keyboard, I'm going to show you this using the keyboard. So you come over here, you do a Command plus B. That's to bold. If you want to unbold it, you press Command and B, and it's going to unbold it. Now let's bold it again, Command B. Let's say we want to italic this. You do Command I. That italics it. And then let's say you wanted to underline this. You do Command U. Now we'll do it to the same on the right here, Command B, I, and U. Now let's remove this. B, I, and U, and there you go. Now let's say you didn't want to use your keyboard and you like using your mouse more often. You could come over here, highlight it, and at the top you're going to see Command B and I, and then here if you want to do a strikeout. The underline, you could actually come over to Format, and you could go to Text, and you could go to Underline, and that's how you can do it. Now the next thing you want to do, and we're going to talk about addition and subtraction. I think this is a great one because a lot of people are using Excel sheets because they want to start to doing some math or some addition or subtraction. I'm just going to put some numbers here, random numbers. Now let's say this is the total here. We could go to total, put in total. I'm going to tab. Now the first thing you want to do to kind of establish a function or the equal, because we're going to be doing an addition, you want to click on the equal and you could select a range for a sum. So if you wanted to highlight all of these, you can say I want to highlight all of these and do a sum and click over here and go to sum and then press enter. So we're going to do that again. We're going to highlight all of these, go to the last column, and we're just going to press sum and then press enter. Then you get the total right here. Perfect. Perfect. So now let's say you wanted to do a subtraction. If you wanted to do a subtraction, you could come over to any cell, put in the equal sign, put in equal, highlight the number that you want to subtract, or the first number you want to do 30, and you want to type in minus, so the minus, and then the cell or the number that you want. Let's say it's this number 5, and then we're going to just press enter. And then it did a subtraction. Now, if you want to see how someone did this, you could actually just highlight the cell, come over here, and as you can see, I'm just highlighting here, but when I look at the value, you can see exactly what this individual did, or what I did. I did an equal E9 minus E5, and that's perfect. Now that we've done addition and subtraction, let's come over here, and let's say you wanted to format these cells or these columns just so it shows a currency or a specific decimal place. So you could come over here, highlight this completely, and what you're going to do is, let's say you wanted to format these with the number sign, the currency sign. You can come over here, format as currency, and it shows up as $4, etc., etc. Now let's say you wanted to add a couple of zeros or minus. You could just come over here and you click on that icon, and it's going to just round it off. You could see that to either 1 decimal or increase the decimals. Now, what we're going to do is, let's say you didn't want these numbers in this column, but you wanted them in the start. What we're going to do is we're going to just copy and paste. I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this, one with the mouse and one with the keyboard. So we're going to come over here, we're going to highlight the first cell. You could either drag and drop like this, drag it with your mouse holding the left button, or you could highlight the first cell with a click. Now hold a shift and use your cursor or use the arrows to highlight them. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do Command X to cut it, or let's say you wanted to copy it, Command C. So in this case, we're going to use Command X. Command X is going to cut it, and we're going to start it at A1. We're going to do a Command V to paste this. And there you go. Now, if you wanted to undo this, you could press Command Z. And there you go. Now, let's just do this with a mouse. So we're going to highlight this. We're going to right-click, and we're going to cut this. And we're going to come to the first cell. We're going to left-click on this, and we're going to right-click, and we're going to click on Paste. And that's how you copy and paste. So those are the main functions that you're going to use with Google Sheets. If you ever wanted to share this sheet, you can come over here. This is set to only private to only me. If you wanted to share this with someone, you click on here. And as you can see, it says, I am the owner. Now all you have to do is insert someone's email here. And then after, it shows this is restricted only for people added that can open this link. So you could copy this link and then send this via WhatsApp, text to someone, or to email. Now, and then you click on done, and then you share it. Now, the last part of this is savings. People are asking, well, where does this get saved? This gets saved in your Google Sheets. So when you go back to Google Sheets, you're going to actually see it open up. I call this How Do I? And as you can see over here at the cloud, this is going to save into your Google Cloud. Now, let's say you had your first spreadsheet here, and this whole Excel spreadsheet is called How Do I? Now, this sheet we can rename by just coming over down to the bottom. We're going to double click on it, and we're going to say, How Do I? A. That's it. And now let's say we want to create another sheet. You just come over here down to the left, and you could click on Add Sheet. And as you can see, we have another sheet, another blank sheet that we can work with. Double click to rename it. We could call this How Do I To? Press enter. And that's it. It auto saves. You can see it's saved to drive. Now let's say we wanted to go back and open this up. You could either come back to google.ca or google.com, open up Sheets again, and you should be able to see it. So let's come over here, File, Open. And as you can see, we've got the How Do I, and all of my spreadsheets that I have available. And that's it for the video. I hope you like this beginner's tutorial for Google Sheets. If you like this video, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.